So earlier today, I shared the news from Packers.com that the Packers did decide to release a kicker, Jack Podlesny, who has been here since January, now meaning that there are 2 kickers remaining, Anders Carlson and Greg Joseph, who was brought in this offseason. But looking at how they both performed last season, I do think this is one of the weaker positions that the Packers have on their entire team, if not the weakest position. And while, sometimes you can get by with average kickers, I think we've seen that in big game situations, you want to have a guy who you can be pretty confident in, that can get it done consistently. And so far, we have not seen that from Anders Carlson. And so with that being the case, a little earlier today, I was looking through different players to see who's out there on the market. Is there anyone who could be worth signing? And I think when you look at NFL kickers who are free agents, there's not a lot out there right now at this point of the year in June. But I was looking at the UFL and looking at which kickers found a lot of success there. And as I was doing that, I came across this guy named Matt, I think it's Coughlin is how you say it, Coghlin. So hopefully I pronounced that name right. And if we look here at the UFL stats from this past season, Coughlin was number 1 in field goal percentage, 16 for 17. So you compare that with the Packers' 2 kickers right now on the roster. Anders Carlson last season had a 80.6% when you look at regular season and playoffs, 80.6% field goal percentage, field goals made. And then Greg Joseph, other Packers kicker, was at 80%. So this guy was at 94% per the UFL website, only missing 1 field goal. And so I was thinking, how is this guy having so much success in the UFL? Why is he not in the NFL? Like, what's going on there? So I found his stats from college at Michigan State and the USFL back in 2023. And if we look right here, you can see during his time in college, he found some success early when he went in 2018, 81.8% from field goal, which is fine. But then the next 2 seasons, 81.8% is not great, but it's fine-ish. And then 2019, 2020, 68.8%, 75%, 63%. So his final 3 years in college weren't great. So it's not surprising that he wasn't, picked up by an NFL team. But the past 2 seasons, you look at 2023, 94.7% field goal percentage, only missed 1 field goal, went 2 of 3 from 40 to 49 yards, 2 of 2 from 50-plus yards. And then this past season, which I already brought up, for some reason this site has him 16 of 18, so they have him missing 1 more. So I'm not sure if that's a mistake by them or the UFL Fox Sports site. Not sure. But regardless, he was very good the past 2 seasons when it came to field goal percentage, hovering around 94%. You throw in that other missed field goal, 88 to 94%, which is much better than both Packers kickers. And so it seems like he took some steps forward from his time in Michigan State. Not sure what he changed. Couldn't really find much information on him. All I know is the past 2 seasons, he has been very consistent as a kicker. And I brought up in my other video how from 40 to 49 yards last season, Anders Carlson was 4 of 9, which is not good. Greg Joseph was 3 of 6. We look at Matt here. He was 3 of 3 from 40 to 49 last year and 2 of 3 the year prior. And we look at his 50-plus yard field goals. He was 4 of 6. And 2 of 2 the previous season, and he had a long of 57 yards. So my thought process is, I think we sort of already know the kind of kicker Greg Joseph is, which is he can be okay at times. We look at his best season, he had an 86.8% field goal percentage, which is okay. 85% his first year in Cleveland. But then last year, 80%, year before, 79.4%, 4%. So not great. So my thought process is, why not bring in Matt here and see what he can do during training camp potentially. I know maybe you don't want to keep 3 kickers on your roster during training camp, but considering the weakness the Packers have here, maybe this guy has found a new level of success that he didn't have early in his career in college. And I just think, why not take a swing on a guy and see if you can get something out of him. There was another kicker, a UFL kicker, who was picked up by the Lions the other day. The Packers actually, were trying to get him to visit or got him to visit one of those 2. So they had their eye on him, but the Lions signed him. He was 77% on field goals, but he did make over a 60-yarder in the UFL. So clearly he has a very big leg, but this guy was much more consistent when it came to, all areas of the field. So that's just sort of my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. You want more Packers content, you can follow me on Twitter at LukeBeller3, and feel free to subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss any Packers content. But that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.